Erika, if you can't handle these ladies grilling you, how you think you're going to handle the prosecuting attorney, a judge, and 12 members of a jury ready to crucify you at the stake? I got my notes. I hope y'all got yours. Let's get on into it. So let's dive on into Dorit's wedding dress business. I really like it. For me, the most successful housewife businesses are the ones that are a natural extension of what they already do, right? So what do we know Dorit for? Backpedaling and fashions. Let me stop. I'm trying not to be messy, but we really do know Dorit for her fashions, right? So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that she can apply that knowledge to the wedding dress business. They showed clips in terms of her already being in the apparel business with her Beverly Beach stuff. So I'm really happy for her in this. I did really like that the dresses were not your typical wedding dresses. They were pretty much atypical, very avant-garde, structural, very fashion focused, which I really like because the typical wedding dress, although it's, a classic silhouette and, it's worked for generations, I feel like you can add some flavor to it. And that's what I really liked about Dorit's dresses, because they were a reflection of her fashion sense, what she likes, and I think there will be a lot of people who will gravitate towards them as well. Now listen, I went up for you, Dorit, but I have to give you a little bit of shade just in terms of PK. Keep PK out your damn business, okay? And let me tell you why, baby. I just did a cursory search on the internet, and the first thing that popped up with PK in business is that he filed bankruptcy claiming up to $50 million in debts, okay? Now, baby, once you file bankruptcy with up to $50 million in debts, you cannot tell me buh about business, okay? You can't tell me buh about the word business. Now, I'm not saying that you can't fall on hard times and, fix your finances and get back on top. But all I got to say is sometimes a leopard doesn't change its spots. And sometimes just the hint of impropriety or just the hint of bad business dealings is enough to tank any sort of venture. So listen, if you let Karen Huger tell it, you gotta make millions to owe millions. So listen, perhaps I'm way off base, but I just feel for safekeeping, Dorit, keep PK out your business. Moving forward to the Mean Girl dinner with Erika, Crystal, Kathy, and Garcelle. Now, y'all, is it me or did it seem like Garcelle was a bit out of place at this dinner? And I only say that because of this. It seemed that Kathy and Crystal were pretty much Team Erika. And so on one hand, I'm really glad that Erika has found a group of people that don't ask her a whole bunch of questions and just seem to be her riders, for lack of a better word, right? Like they support her, they see things her way. That's wonderful. I feel like Erika is going through a lot of things right now. She is going to need people that support her, and I'm glad that she found her riders, her tribe. So wonderful. What I didn't like though is sort of the mean girl aspect of it. So the central argument seems to be, we didn't know Sutton before this group, so her conservative reputation is nothing for her to worry about. Listen, if that girl wants to be worried about her reputation, that is her prerogative and her right? If that's what she values and that's what, people know her for or what she knows herself for, then I don't think that it's wrong for her to put that ahead of anything else. Listen, quiet as it's kept, she don't really know you that well. So that being besides the point, she did show you some love in the beginning of this thing, but people have their opinions and everyone is not going to feel the same about a topic. So just as it's her right to put her reputation above all else, it's your right to not like that she did that. And that's okay. Two things can exist at the same time, right? And listen, for me, I would take Sutton's conservative, under the radar, quiet wealth any day over Erika's loud, outspoken, gaudy, flashy wealth any day. Because if you think about it, once you peel the layers back of each of them, Sutton is still out here buying $5.3 million houses in Bel Air and Bentleys, and you tootsie rolling cross lawsuits trying to figure out where your husband hid the money, where the money was, why the orphans, children, and the widows don't have it. So listen, sometimes I feel that the loudest people can be the most insecure, and the ones that are quiet, they seem to have a bit more substance. So I'm gonna leave it at that. So just as y'all were having this little mean girl dinner about Sutton, I think a lot can be said for someone who has a very quiet, conservative, under the radar reputation versus someone who has a very loud, outspoken one that has been sort of discovered as a sort of sham, for lack of a better word. And y'all drop down in the comments and let me know if y'all agree with me or if you think I'm off base here. Anywho, let's move on to some happier news. Kyle and Mauricio celebrating their 25th anniversary. I really wanted to put this little note in because it's very rare in the world of Hollywood, in the world of entertainment, that you see people get these milestone marriages, right? It's definitely not the norm, and so when it happens, it should really be celebrated. I really liked the whole montage of clips from their past because it was really nice to see them younger and through the years. And listen, they've been fine forever, okay? They just keep getting better with time. So listen, Mauricio is fine at any age. And may we all find someone who looks at us like Mauricio looks at Kyle. Moving forward to Kathy's dinner, Erika and Sutton and the public confrontations. Y'all, drop down in the comments and let me know if I'm off base here, but I really feel that I don't understand the constant need to have these confrontations in these public spaces, right, with all the other ladies. To me, if you value my friendship or you're just trying to get to the source of the dysfunction between us, wouldn't it be more advantageous to just invite me out to dinner, just one-on-one, and for us to figure it out? I mean, Sutton has done enough to go around to, the group as a whole, excluding Erika, and individual people, and put all of these different ideas in people's heads, these notions and these beliefs that she's had. So one could say that the public confrontation needs to happen because you've been addressing it in a very public way. But I don't know. To me, you sort of set yourself up for failure from the beginning when you let everybody else's opinions and ideas interfere into the conversation. It's a very stressful event anyway because all the ladies are there and expecting something to happen. So that's just me. Drop down in the comments and let me know if you guys agree or if y'all are here for the public confrontations and what the damn Real Housewives was built on. So listen, if we do, are we doing TV or are we doing friendship? I think that's the decision here. Moving forward with more Erika and Sutton. What does support mean to Erika? Erika, I think first we have to sort of dissect your premise here, because the overarching theme I was getting from you at this dinner is that support means total allegiance and not asking any questions, right? So to me, if you want someone to just completely follow you, not ask you any questions, support you, beyond the benefit of a doubt and not question anything, then girl, what you really want is a group of fans and not friends, okay? Because if I'm your friend, I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't ask the questions that the world is going to ask you, right? And to a friend's credit, they sort of always try to structure the questions in a way that is palatable to you, right? So you know that at the core, I love you and I'm not coming for you, but these are things that I have to know in order to support you. So I think it's really wrong for her to sort of phrase it in a sense of like they're not supporting you because they're asking questions. To Garcelle's point, it's a natural thing to want to know, does this affect me? Did you do it? The problem is that, and I've said this in a prior video, the way the legal system is structured and the way, Erika has to go about this lawsuit is that she can't tell everything, right? And that's the problem. And they're going to keep having questions because they don't ever get the full truth on it. So I don't know. But asking the ladies to blindly follow you and not be true to themselves in their own question asking is ridiculous to me. Listen, you already got your riders with Kathy and Crystal. You can't expect all the other ladies to follow in tow. So moving forward, Erika Dunn flipped the script and decided the best offense was a good defense. Y'all are torturing me. Y'all, I validate Erika's feelings. I understand that they are something that none of us have ever dealt with and will probably ever deal with, the emotions that are related to it. And so this is sort of the part of our show where I'm going to go up for Erika in a sense, because it has to be hard to go to all of these events, whether they're small or large, dinners or, outings, and know that you're constantly the topic of conversation. And every single event that they have is an interrogation, right? And so I had to sort of take a step back to think about this. But honestly, Erika, you coming back this season put these events in motion, if you think about it. A reasonable person who is going through this in their personal life would not be on this show. And that sort of leads me to two trains of thought as to why you're here, right? So on one hand, you could be here because you're completely innocent and you want to show the world, your story, your perspective, and you don't want them to write that narrative. I understand that, okay? And the second reason that you might be here is just because you simply need the money and the check, okay? And if that is the reason that you're primarily on this show, because if you let Erika tell it, Tom cut her off or whatever, and she's pretty much affording all of this stuff on her own and from the money that she was able to glean over the years and set aside, right? So if that's the case, the best lesson is a bought lesson, because if you're here for the money in order to keep your lifestyle going, or at least some aspect of it, then unfortunately, this is what goes along with it, right? Like, you can't have it both ways. You can't still be on the show and not expect to be questioned on things. So I go up for you in that it's very sad that every single time that they see you, it's an interrogation. But in the reality of it, if they're not getting the answers to the questions that they need, it's very hard for all the ladies to support you blindly. And moving on, y'all, to Sutton, which is my last point, who has seemed to pull the short straw and is always being the source of topic regarding Erika. And I just want to analyze this really quick. But to me, Sutton is viewed as the leader of the opposition because she was the most vocal in the beginning, right? So I'm not saying that it's right that all the ladies are directing their venom and their energy and their vigor towards Sutton in terms of, say what you said back then, keep the same energy. I validate all of that. But the problem is that when you're the first of something, you always bear the responsibility and, the benefits and the drawbacks of whatever comes with that, okay? And you put yourself in the position that you are in. Is it wrong they're coming at you all the time because, you were the most vocal? Yes, but is it understandable? Absolutely, okay? Because if everyone has these opinions and you were, you had, what, for lack of a better term, you had, the biggest cojones, okay? Which is, I think, Spanish for balls. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know if it is. Haha, my Spanish people, Rosetta Stone. If you had the biggest balls to say what was on your mind, then listen, you have to deal with what comes with it. I am so sorry. Like, that's pretty much how life is. If you are the first of anything, you bear all of the drawbacks and consequences that come from it. So I'm so sorry that you drew the short straw. But listen, next time the lesson is you stay quiet until somebody else speaks up. And then that person will be the leader of the opposition, the leader of the revolution. And you can just give your little side comments and not be viewed as a person who's trying to take down Erika Jayne at every single juncture. Anywho, y'all, if you liked what I said, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Stereo, and Twitter at DatDamnDasher. And until next time, y'all, don't start a revolution if you can't handle what comes with it. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.